Alright guys, tonight was the first episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Season 8, start of a brand new season, and this is one of my favorite shows on television. I've been watching it since 2005, since it started, and it's still one of my favorite shows on TV. I actually have all of the DVDs here. I have them all except for Season 7. I haven't picked that one up yet, but I've got all the DVDs, and I even have the Christmas DVD. So, I don't even know if this came with one of the other seasons. I think they added it as a special episode or something like that, but yeah, this is one of my favorite shows on TV, and I have to admit that it has it's not exactly what it used to be. I have to say that season 3, 4, 5, it's really hard to pick between those, but I would say season 4 is my favorite season of Always Sunny. It's just perfect. I think every single episode is good. But one thing I've noticed about this show, and I'm a huge fan of the show, so don't get me wrong, is it feels like every episode used to be good. In the first few seasons, every episode was good. And now it's like, as it goes on, and 8 years is a long time for any show, but as it goes on, each season you're getting fewer and fewer of those just awesome episodes. And it's kind of disappointing to me. Last year's, I like the high school reunion episode. They usually bring it with the final, and they usually bring it with the first and a few others throughout the season. But lately it's just, there's been a few bad ones in there, and it's like, as the show goes on, there's just more bad ones. And that's disappointing to me because it is one of my favorite shows. And the thing about this episode tonight is it had its moments. It had some great stuff, but it also felt like they usually come a lot harder with the first episode of a new season, and that's why this was kind of a bad sign for me, because I didn't think this one was up to the standards of the other seasons. It had some moments, but it also had some jokes that were just kind of not really funny, kind of cheesy in some parts of the show. But yeah, anyways, the show starts off and Mac has lost the weight he put on from last season, and he's wearing these sunglasses in the bar, and he's got an idea that he's going to use these to assess threats in the bar, which consists of him just staring at someone for 30 seconds or so. So that was funny, and the lawyer showed up. I love how Always Sunny always brings back older characters, Artemis and the lawyer, Mac's dad, who's one of the best characters on the show. Rickety Cricket, who was also in this episode. So the lawyer's back, and he's the guy that Charlie was debating bird law with. And apparently Dee and Dennis's Pop is on life support or something, and they need them to sign. They're the only living relatives, and they have to sign whether to pull the plug or not. So that's the episode, is Pop, final decision or something. And Dennis and Dee go to see him at the hospital. Frank's actually been taking care of him. It is crazy, because he's a Nazi. The grandfather was a Nazi. And Frank's been taking care of him because he wants this Nazi treasure that he thinks he's hiding. So they go to see him in the hospital, and his room is like a complete mess. There's cans of like soup all over the place, like this old soup that's been sitting there forever. He's got a beard and long hair, and it's obvious no one's been taking care of him because Frank told him he had it. And Max says, "You clearly did not have it." But the funny part is, Charlie starts eating some of the soup, and this was disgusting. And Dennis and Dee are just gagging at the sight of this because it's this old rancid soup, Dennis says. And then we cut back to Charlie, and now Mac is eating some of this disgusting soup. And they're talking about how gross it is, but they say that they have made the decision and they have to commit to it, to eat the soup. So Charlie remembers, and it actually has flashbacks to some of the earlier episodes where Charlie finds the Nazi uniform and everything, and that was cool to see again. Them go back to the earlier seasons. And he remembers that there was also a painting in this box, and he thinks that might be the treasure. So they go and they try to find this painting, and Frank is trying to find the treasure, and Dee and Dennis are trying to figure out what they should do. Do they want to pull the plug on Pop or not? And they go back to the apartment and they watch some old home videos, and one of them is them going to summer camp with Pop Pop, and it turns out it was like a Nazi camp or something, and so they decide they're going to pull the plug, and then Frank's telling them not to, and Frank is this painting they're looking for, Frank threw out. So Charlie and Mac are trying to find the whereabouts of this painting, and Frank says Rickety Cricket scampered off with it, so they find him, and he's got this huge scar, and his eyes all messed up now, and every season he just gets worse and worse. And it's so funny because when you first see Rickety Cricket, he's like a stand-up guy. I think he's a priest, and they just completely ruin this guy's life. He's homeless, they hunt him for food, all types of crazy stuff happens to him. And now he's got this big scar, and he's working at a dog pound. And he tells them that he sold the painting for $3, and Mac is going on about how this painting could be Hitler's, an original Hitler, that he painted it, and it's worth a lot of money, and they're going to make a Da Vinci Code movie based off of this, and Ryan Gosling's going to play Mac, and he's going on and on about this, and they go to this dentist office, who's the guy they sold the painting to, and Charlie takes this laughing gas, and Mac, who's wearing the duster the entire time, drugs him with this laughing gas so that he's completely out, and now he can go get the painting for himself. So Mac and Frank meet up at the bar, and they have the painting, but it's the wrong one, and Charlie's there already, and he's got this gas on his face, and he's acting really creepy, kind of like Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet is what it reminded me of. And he's got this gas on his face, and he's talking about how there was no painting, that it was a painting he made. He just wanted to find it and get it back. So they realize that it's completely pointless now, and he says, "I bet you want this painting," and they said, "No, it doesn't mean anything since it's a Charlie Kelly painting." And they go and burn it in the dumpster, and then we see that it was a Hitler painting. Charlie tells Mac that he just painted over the original. So he completely ruined this piece of history, and that's it. They don't get any money. Dennis and Dee realize that they can't kill Pop Pop, so they sign over the rights to the lawyer. And the lawyer has the plug pulled, but Pop Pop's a fighter, so he's still breathing on his own, and they have no idea when he's going to die. And this pisses the lawyer off because apparently he did leave them something, but now he can't get it. So I'm sure this is going to continue throughout the rest of the season. But anyway, yeah, like I said, this was a decent episode tonight, but I kind of expect a lot more when they first start a new season and they really just bring something great. Like I think a couple years ago was the Mac Fights Gay Marriage, and then Mac Got Fat. Just some really good first episodes, and I don't know, I was a little disappointed with this one, but hopefully this is a great season. Hopefully there's a lot more hits than there are misses this year, and still a great show. If you've never seen it, you should really check it out. There's really nothing else like it, and I love this show. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the first episode of Season 8 of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm going to try and do these every single week after Impact ends. So I hope you guys like this video. Leave your thoughts on this week's episode in the comments below. Oh, and one more thing, I almost forgot. I don't know if you guys saw the advertisements where they were supposed to be a new cast this year. And it was Chael Sonnen as Dennis, Candace Cameron as Charlie, Exhibit as Dee, Haley Joel Osment as Mac, who did an awesome job in the little promos, just to get a base. And then as Frank, Andrew Dice Clay. And I don't know if that was just for the promos. I thought that's what the first episode would be, was something about that. But it was just a regular episode of Sunny, so I don't know if those were just for the advertisements to hype the show, or if there's going to be an episode with those characters, which I would like to see because it looked awesome in the promos. So yeah, that was kind of strange that they didn't start with that. But anyway, good episode. Leave your thoughts on this week's episode in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Bye.